get to talk to them about because I really feel that's how Christ saved me. I was dead, and he raised me from the dead. So when we drive, it's funny. I actually get my steps in. I'll look at my watch at the end of the day, and I'll have 8,000 steps because I like to get out of the van. I like to meet the crew. I like to open the door. I like to welcome them in. Yeah. I talk to the Jehovah's Witnesses because they're usually right where the crew are. Oh, yeah. They have their stations. Yeah. And I tease them all that they all play Pokemon because they're always on their phones. You know, ask them, did you get a shiny or did you get a Pikachu or what'd you get today? And then they try to tell me what they're doing. But good.
Crew or the Jehovah's Witnesses?
No, the Jehovah's Witnesses. The crew know what's going on. So we'll pick up the crew. We'll bring them over here. You get to talk to them. You may get to talk to them a little bit in the van. It's a little hard sometimes, but again, I get out of here. I make sure the door's open. We hold the door. We welcome them again. They're amazed. The one time we're pulling out of here of the parking lot, and I stopped because there were people on the sidewalk. The one guy said, in my country, we just run them over. This is what in the rest of the world, a lot of the world, it is. They are so surprised. They do not understand people volunteering their days off or being retired, volunteering, doing this. They just doesn't make any sense to them. It draws their attention. What is this about Christianity that these people would treat us like family for nothing? Yeah. They don't get anything out of it. They'll hand you like $5 and you tell them thank you, and you put it in the donation cup that's in the, and it's for the gas. It's for the gas. And you tell them, we don't get any of this money. Yeah. This is for the ministry, but I thank you for your support. This helps pay for the gas. Sure. It's like herding cats sometimes. You got to make sure they have their cell phones, their packages, their knapsacks, their papers. You got to make sure, don't forget anything, because they'll forget stuff. And if they forget their papers, they can't get back on the ship. It is a major catastrophe if they forget their papers and their phones. That is their lifeline to their family. They come here, they get free internet. We can have 80 of them in here or more, all on Zoom, all on FaceTime, and we have enough bandwidth to cover it.
Do they leave phones laying around often?
Not too often, but you got to keep on them.
Sure.
Because they take them out and then they go. My goal is to learn how to say, hurry up, let's go, in as many languages as possible. Because it really, like for the Filipinos, when you say it in their language, bilisan mo terana, they are just so excited that you took time to learn that. And you do have to hurry them up because they don't understand the word immediately. Immediately means maybe in 20 minutes. Many times, it's like, you got to tell them, no, 28 seconds, we are pulling out of this parking lot. If you want to ride, let's go. Yeah. But there's always another van afterwards, so it's not a problem. Good.
Okay. Well, I work in the store. It's not as exciting as driving, but but because of, they can go to Walmart with him if they have enough time.
Sure.
But a lot of times they don't have enough time. They only have a very short period of time, and they want to spend that time talking to home, or they picking up their packages in the back, or having lunch or whatever. So if they need something, like, we don't have a lot, as you can tell, but snacks and toiletry items primarily is what we have, and they can get that there at the store. And so I get to observe them a lot while I'm working in the store, and most of the time they're here talking to home, which is the most important thing. And you can tell how that they're excited about that they're being able to talk to their family. I can sometimes even hear them. I can't understand what they're saying, of course, but I can hear them talking to their children and so forth at home, which is really a blessing for them. But anyway, working in the store it's not terribly exciting, but I get to overhear them sometimes say something that will pique my interest. They'll come and ask me what about if they want somebody to pray with them, or if they want if they have a question about where something is, and sometimes I'll know and sometimes I won't. But anyway, but mainly I'm just there to be a friendly face, and a lot of times he taught me about the language. I don't speak any other languages, but I have been to several of the countries they come from, like Zimbabwe and India and so forth, because travel is a passion of mine, and that's very exciting for them to know that I've been to their country, and usually we can talk a little bit about that. So
A lot of them speak English also.
most of them speak English very, very well, and I assume that the cruise ships pretty much require that for a lot of them. I mean, some positions more than others, obviously, and but no, most of them speak very, very, very
First
well.
speaker has 30 seconds to wrap up.
How often do you serve? How many days?
Okay, I work 1 day a week. That is totally up to,
Sure.
and I'm only here 6 months. I spend 6 months, the summer months. I'm not here in the summer.
Gotcha.
So, but they are very flexible with volunteers.
Sure.
I work on Monday, which is a really busy day, and but some other days it's different, and it's different with the drivers. Some
Sure.
of the people get off later, and some they have work later. So, but I work from 8 to 1:30 on Monday, and so far that's worked for the last 3 years.
Second
How about you? How often do you work and drive?
As needed, like a nurse, PRN. Whenever they need me, they call
let
me.
you know.
Yeah, they call me.
Okay, and you come on up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I live very close, and also I have a TWIC, which enables me to go on the container ships.
What's a quick?
It's like your TSA pre-check, only for the port.
Yeah.
And you can. There are container ships we are allowed on, and there's Bible studies, and we get to bring cookies and different things to the container ships.
Nice. Valuable.
Yeah, especially now the Chinese ships never. They're not allowed to talk to us, the Chinese ships, but the Russian ships have all Filipino cooks.
Oh yeah.
So, but the Russian guys are really happy to get to the port because they can go buy meat and they don't get to have rice. They're trying to get away from the Filipino rice.
That's what they're cooking.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But if you can't come on if you can't come sometime, Marcy is in charge of the schedule, which is quite amazing. To schedule all the different people
bet,
and all the
I
different
bet.
things. But if you can't come sometime, you just contact Marcy.
Sure.
And sometimes she'll call you and say, well, can you fill in on a different day? And and if you can. It's very well organized. I would say that very, very well organized.
You do the shopping to supply the store?
No, there's some other people who do that.
You know,
There's-
Park and Eunice do shopping. That's what they do. That's the store. Yeah,
Yeah.
Park and Eunice.
And there's another, Carol and John or some other also do some of that. So, but no, I come in and it's well stocked and ready to go.
Yep.
So that's that works. How's the chili?
Delicious.
Thank you so much.
I think to do with that.
Yeah, it's good.
Any other questions? I always tell my favorite story is that I tell people is a good friend of mine's husband used to work in this building when it was a post office. It was a post office in the beginning, and after he'd been there a while, he was quite an evangelist. He was the kind of guy who would say, we'd just meet you, and he'd come in and say, "How are you? Hello. Do you know Jesus?" And the new postmaster came into the place and said, "That's not allowed. You will not be doing that in this building. You will not be talking about Jesus in this building." So he transferred to another post office, and now we talk about Jesus in this building all the time.
Yes.
So it's another
Yes.
time.
What's the requirement for driving?
For driving the van, just a Florida driver's license.
No CDLs?
No CDLs. Now to drive the big buses, you need a CDL, but they're only 15 passenger, so you don't need a CDL for them.
Yeah. That's
Is there
good.
a need for drivers?
Yes, yeah, there is.
Buses are going.
Yeah, yeah. Like on Saturday, we'll have all five vans. They'll be out,
Nonstop.
and 3 buses will be out. You know, I mean, it's pretty big, especially around Thanksgiving. We could get 1,100 people in here. You know, 900 1,000. I mean, we've hit on Thanksgiving. That's like our highest weeks.
She said between Christmas and New Year's, there's 24 ships come through.
Yeah.
So Thanksgiving's also busy.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll give you one example. I got onto a cruise ship, and the cruise ship gets to know. They know. Oh, you work at the port. So there was this one gentleman I was talking to. He needed a Bible. He wasn't allowed off the ship. He did not have his I-95 papers. He wasn't legally allowed in America. So Kevin's wife, Deb, I call her up, and I said, Deb, on the Utopia, what Bible studies do we have? Well, she got back to me the next day. I went down and I told him, this is the Bible study on the ship. This is the phone number on the ship to call the guy that runs the Bible study. And I handed him a coin, a challenge coin that was the put on the full armor of God.
Yeah.
So we're standing outside the jewelry shop where he worked. I hand him this coin, and a lady on the ship grabs it, grabs the coin. She wasn't pushy, but she didn't have a filter. She grabs the coin. Let me see that. Put on the full armor of God. And she rips up her sleeve, and it's tattooed on her arm. She's ex-military. And she said, my son just died a year ago, and God's taken me through the grief, and I'm doing good. This has been and not only that, it's my birthday. I happen to have another one. And I said, well, I guess God gave you a birthday present. But what a testimony for the crew member.
Sure.
8,000 people on the ship. How many people have that tattoo on their arm?
Those Bible studies, the port ministry is running those studies on the boat, or they're being run by?
They're being run by the crew members.
Wow.
So the crew members let us know, and then if somebody calls here and says, hey, I'm on the Utopia, because there's 3,000 or 4,000 crew members, they don't always know what's going on.
Of course.
And some of the ships are not allowed to post, like Disney, they wouldn't be allowed to post anything. Disney's pretty tough.
Yeah, for sure. It's Disney.
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah. They don't want any of that going on.
Any other questions?
Is there another station, or is this our last?
I think there's one more station. Where'd you go?